folks, welcome back to Superhero Roundup. It's the mighty return of Superhero Roundup here on SourceFedNERD. I am Matt Lieberman.
I'm Sam Basher.
And I'm DJ Wooldridge.
And today we're going to be briefly touching on Gotham's return, and we're going to be talking about the 2-hour premiere of Agent Carter.
Yep, which just premiered this week. And then we've got some news and rumors
Yeah.
with
So
Ant-Man
many.
trailers and stuff like that.
Yeah, and the Daredevil release date.
Yep.
We're going to take Gotham a little differently today.
I watched it. So
Yeah, Sam finally watched
watched
it.
I
Gotham.
did not catch up. I watched this episode.
He watched this episode.
Which need a lot of
the
backup.
episode does a good job of just summing up all the things that happened so far in the season, which is not
A lot.
a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Sam, what was your takeaway from this episode?
I got super excited when they said Arkham Asylum, because I was like, okay, here we go. We're getting in the... no, it's not. Actually, it's the most boring asylum ever. Like, if you guys, maybe you
But
guys
what
ever-
about the play, Sam?
Oh, the play. Oh, yeah, that, I don't know. Like, I was expecting, like, it was very easy to figure out, like, who the antagonist was. It was very ezy. Like, why did he sit down all of the mental patients to interrogate them?
Lamest investigation ever. Like, we're gonna find out who stole this key by sitting everybody down and asking them.
Yeah.
Did you steal the key?
And is
No.
is his partner
Good.
supposed
Alright,
to be
great.
comedic relief? Is that what he is? Like, I don't quite
His
get
partner
it.
is supposed to be a big old waste of Donald Logue's time.
Oh, well, that's definitely what that was. That's what it felt like. At least he
Yeah.
didn't want to be there. Like,
Yeah.
he wasn't taking it seriously. And, like, Penguin, is he in love with the main character? Like, I know you guys talked about that, but then I saw it and I was like, but is he? I was disappointed.
Yeah.
Like, I was waiting to see something cool happen with Ivy and Catwoman.
Yeah, she's
Oh,
got
yeah.
that cough. I wonder if she'll survive.
Yeah. Gosh,
Man, imagine if
those
they took
scenes
that.
were so
They just-
weird.
Woo, dead.
Yeah.
If you want to take like a bold risk and be like, our universe is not the traditional Batman universe, fucking have Poison Ivy die of tuberculosis in Gordon's apartment years before Batman even turns up.
Or start the series, Jim Gordon is a good stand-up cop and a crook kills him and that crook feels bad about it and takes Jim Gordon's identity and you pull a Mad Men where it's like, I'm Jim Gordon, and you realize he's not.
And then
Something, give us something.
Give us
Come
something.
on.
Let us think that, yeah, if the Jim Gordon that we know from the comics was actually never Jim Gordon, was actually some lowlife who took his place, that'd be really fucking cool.
Be something.
Wait, sorry. Why was Barbara Gordon upset that Ivy picked up the phone?
Oh, here's the thing.
sorry.
Ivy decided to pretend to be an older lover, which is very unsettling. And
Because she still sounds like she's 8.
Why?
Yeah, and I guess just because she's a bitch. Because at first she's concerned that they're staying at the place, and then I guess she just wants to ruin lives, and so she starts pretending like Gordon. And then Barbara is all like, "I know I left you for my lesbian lover, but now you're with somebody else. Go to hell."
Yeah.
Click.
I know I just said while I was naked in bed with Renee Montoya that I'm over him after 2 weeks, but screw you. But DJ, you have to remember, this whole scene is grounded in character because as far as Ivy knows, Jim Gordon is responsible for her father's death. So she's just getting back at him for the death of her father.
But does she know that she's at Jim Gordon's place?
No, she doesn't. It doesn't make any sense.
That goes to like this show.
I really tried to like it, man. I really tried to be unbiased.
tried.
I really tried because I thought you guys were just mad or something.
Yeah.
No.
Here's the thing. That leads me to the point that this show hates women. Like Leslie Tompkins shows up and she's basically there to look pretty and for Jim to be like, I must protect you.
Yeah, you don't come down here.
Don't do anything because you're a woman and you'll clearly get hurt. Even though the way he resolves it is just by yelling real loud.
Yeah.
And punching.
Yeah.
Like,
Yelling and punching.
Yeah, and then Barbara and Renee, and for those of you who've only watched this show, Renee Montoya is actually one of the most compelling supporting Batman characters
Ever.
Yeah, and it's just real.
Listen.
We're bad for each other. How do we know?
You don't.
How do we've had?
Because I just told you, I'm a writer. I told you everything you need to know. I put it into the mouths of my characters. They can tell you the reasons why they're bad for each other. We don't need to see it. We don't need to infer anything. I told you. We're bad together.
Is
Tell,
Jim
don't
Gordon
show.
the only security guard at this insane asylum?
Yes, he is.
No,
the
remember
only-
there was the ratty guy that lost his key. There was that guy too.
Oh.
Yeah.
But Gordon's the one who's got to keep these inmates safe.
All of them line up.
Yeah.
And just wait to be dealt a punching. Like it's just, why don't y'all go for him? Like, are you trying to escape? That's not an exit. Like,
What did you think, Matt? What was your?
It's just like, even with like all that, there are like brief glimmers of like something cool. Like the guy who wound up being the culprit, he could have been Hugo Strange, and he was actually compelling for like the 10 seconds he was on screen.
Yeah, and Hugo Strange is one of the earliest Batman villains, so he's perfect for the show.
Yeah, really? Yeah. The crime family stuff, the Penguin stuff continues to just not matter.
Yeah.
Jada Pinkett Smith's character is just so boring. I don't care about Butch. I don't care about a double cross. Yeah. I don't care about Penguin at all.
So on the complete other side of the spectrum of superhero TV shows, we had Agent Carter.
Oh, yeah.
My God, that was so good.
It was a blast.
It was so good.
It was fun. And it wasn't just fun, it was just, I don't know, it was a movie. It was like a nice, neat little movie that got me excited for like the sequel, which is just gonna be the next episode after episode after episode.
It's like, it's classic, like, I have a lot of gripes with broadcast TV, but this is classic broadcast TV.
This is done well.
You build a very simple story around a compelling star, and you make it very clear early on who are the characters we care about, who are the ones that we root against, and then set up a compelling mystery, which they did, and then make it fun along the way. It's a wonderful diversion. Do I think it's gonna be one of the best series of the year? Not necessarily. I think that it succeeds largely on the strength of Haley Atwell.
She's so
oh my
good
God,
in
she's
it.
great.
Yeah.
It's the, I think, even though Flash, Arrow, they're great, this is something special.
You think this is better than Flash and Arrow?
Yes, I think so.
I think overall, I think the genetics of this show are stronger than necessarily the genetics of those shows. Those shows can have episodes that will be better than Agent Carter.
Probably,
But like the core, like if you're looking at broadcast television, if the idea is you want to have characters that you are cool spending week in and week out with, we have that here. I didn't have a single character who's like, when they came on screen, I was like, ugh, not this person.
No,
everybody was like,
every single character.
Even the jerks are like, they're funny.
They're
Shea
funny
Wiggum,
jerks, yeah.
It's like, it makes no sense that the captain is going on all these field missions, but I don't care because it's Shea Wiggum, and I like him. I like him being around and stuff. And I like that in another show, if this were a different show, those guys would be the main characters. It would be their story. Like when they're torturing the guy, like we would be following that, but this show is not that show, and so we're following Agent Carter actually accomplishing things while they're wasting their time.
Yeah, and James Darcy as Jarvis is a lot of fun.
He's a lot of fun. He's better than I expected him to be. Like I didn't I had heard that there was a Jarvis character, and I thought that was just kind of like a jab, and like at like trying to take stuff from Iron Man or something that's successful and trying to like put it in. It's like when S.H.I.E.L.D. in their pilot was like, oh, they've got gamma radiation and Extremis and all these things, like trying to pull from the Marvel Cinematic Universe and make something, and it didn't work. That's what it felt like, but when I heard about it, but it works so well. He's a great sidekick. He's a great
foil. It's weird that he kind of fills the typical like female sidekick role, and I also like that he's kind of the anti-Alfred. Like Alfred is always like, he served in the military, he's actually a badass. Jarvis is a butler.
Yeah.
He's just a butler.
He just wants to buttle.
Yeah, that's it. Like he's on the phone and he's got to make dinner for his wife.
Wants to be in bed by 9.
I want to be in bed by 9.
Exactly. Yeah. I love that. I'm very curious about what the showrunners are going to do with it. Michelle Fazekas and Tara Butters, they created Reaper, which is
great show.
A great 2-season show.
Which, speaking of Reaper,
Ray Wise was in the second episode, and he played the devil on that show.
I will say, I think this is probably in this season of shows, this is probably the most fun I've had watching a pilot.
Yeah, right? I'd agree with that.
Yes.
Just by the sheer virtue of being different and fun.
Yeah, and like you said, like Haley Atwell, like each of these episodes, she got to go undercover, and she's so good as the
her American
milk testing.
accent.
Her American accent is great. I think also it's good that she doesn't have to be an American in the show. Like it's only when she's undercover, so we're not constantly like nitpicking her accent. No, she's a British actress.
Yeah,
she is? Okay.
When she has to go undercover as the blonde and pick up spiders, the stuff from Spider, and then Bubbles from The Wire, and then as the milk truck
tester.
It's great. It's so much fun, and she kicks so much ass.
Yeah, and I like these.
So much ass.
I like all of the fight scenes and stunts are very well
They're
choreographed
the best out
and
of
shot.
The superhero shows.
I would agree. I would agree they are actually like the best planned and shot out of any of the superhero shows on TV.
Probably also helps that the second episode was directed by one of the Russo brothers who directed Cap 2.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
so that probably helps.
I love how they make their villains. Like Flash and Arrow, they're pretty good at like designing their villains, like making them look cool and like giving them a good story. story. But at the same time, it's just like a villain of the week kind of thing. These guys aren't like, ooh, what's this mysterious thing? Oh, they talk with one of those voice boxes.
They handle their material really well. There's this vague creepiness. They handle the elements. It's a pulp show. It's based on old 1940s pulp detective novels.
Yeah.
And it's got those elements and it handles them really well. I like the typewriter.
Wow,
the signal typewriter.
Yeah, that was really
It's just
cool.
vaguely, it's just everything about them is just vaguely creepy, and I really liked how lethal, like they didn't tone down the main villain of these two episodes.
He's insane.
Yeah, I have very few quibbles. My one was, we had a shot where he's interrogating a guy, and then he kills the guy, shoots him in the head, and then as he walks out, you see that he killed the guy's wife too, and it's very striking. And then the next scene we seen him in, he's killed a guy, and then he walks out and he's killed a bunch of people. And it's like, okay, I just saw this scene earlier, and it was more effective than you just didn't need it. That was one of my very small quibbles, but
do we think, I want to ask a question, do we think Leviathan is connected to Hydra?
Well, here's the thing.
I don't think it is.
Leviathan exists in the comics. It was, I believe it was introduced in Jonathan Hickman's Secret Wars, which Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. pulls from a lot. And the best way I can describe Leviathan is that it is what Hydra is to Nazis, Leviathan is to the KGB and Russia, which is cool because of the timetable. It could be cool to be going into some Cold War stuff.
Early Cold War stuff.
Early Cold War stuff, so that would be cool.
It was very cool. I like that they had the Roxxon tie-in because they had teased that a couple times in the Iron Man movies.
Yeah.
So I like that they brought that back, especially with Howard Stark.
Yeah.
It's got everything. This is pretty much the exact show that I wanted from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Because it is a spy show.
It's a spy show. It's stylized. The characters are interesting and have interesting motivations and are fun to be around. The waitress friend.
Yeah,
she meets
great.
Awesome. Like I like everybody in this show. Like the gadgets are fun and creative. The action is cool. This is what like one of my favorite scenes is when
Kevin Heffernan,
Heffernan is in there,
puts a
fork in there, and she threatens him. And it's like that's one of the best. Like they do that in shows a lot.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is probably not going to be that. Her threat is so good. It's so convincing.
It's so specific.
Yeah.
And she's so like charming about it.
Yeah. It's Haley Atwell. I wonder if we would like this show, how much less we would like this show if Haley Atwell wasn't lead.
I don't think we would like it very much. Like she honestly, she's a huge star. She deserves to be a huge star.
Yeah.
She's just so great to watch.
She's this really cool tool that the Marvel Cinematic Universe has to use now. Coulson was it prior, and like he was great. Like to have him show up every once in a while, but he's been a little tarnished with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Like if he popped over to like an Iron Man movie, it'd be cool. But now you have Haley Atwell, and it's just this cool tie to the past, so you can see how this is what the universe used to be like with S.H.I.E.L.D. and with Cap. But now you can use it to tie into the events that are going to happen now. Same with Ultron, same with Ant-Man. It's going to be great because she's in both of those movies.
I think she's in Ant-Man, and it's a flashback with Hank Pym and her, and then John Slattery, who played Howard Stark in Iron Man 2, is returning as 60s era Howard Stark.
He changes a lot.
But honestly, I think one of my only other complaints, and this isn't a real complaint, it's just one of those like the heart desires type complaint, is I wish the show was set in the DC universe instead. Because Marvel doesn't really have, other than Cap, doesn't have any really cool 1940s characters.
Got it.
And so it's like nobody, and it's weird. Like I wish Gotham would jettison pretty much all the comic book characters, but when a show's done so well like this, it's like I want to see what these guys would do
with that sandbox.
Yeah, the only options are like maybe Android Human Torch, which would be cool. What I would like to see, honestly, in DJ's dream world, I wish there was some time travel story where Peggy Carter could hang out with Black Widow, because that would be awesome. Have them team up. The radio program was amazing, and the way they used it was great. One of my favorite gags in that was you got Ralph Garman, who's the announcer, and he's doing an announcer thing, and then you have
and she's like doing the fight,
and then you go to Cap, and it's Rick Moranis basically, and he's got this big, deep, booming voice though, and that was a great gag, and they're doing what they did back in the day, like. A lot of food damage. Is that really the best use of lobster? Is to break it for a sound
effect? I don't know. I mean,
there's probably sticks you could have, whatever. But anyway,
I love the use of green screen for that. The city they build, the world that they build, and for New York City in the 1940s is beautiful.
The balance of things I think is really good. Like it's not her sex does not define her so much as it defines how people interact with her, and I think that's good.
Very good point.
Yeah, and it's a lesson I wish. I feel like Arrow should have learned with Sarah Lance, but they need to learn it with Laurel. Again, the quickest way to a fanboy's heart is to have your character kick a lot of ass. Like, if they can have Laurel finally start kicking ass, maybe we'll start liking her
Well, I think
more.
that now that Ollie's dead, I think she's going to have some impetus to do so.
I hope so. This is something people have always been like, oh, you can't, like with the Wonder Woman movie, oh, you can't have a female lead in an action movie. Why?
Why
the
not?
The most appealing thing to me in the world is seeing a hot woman kick ass. Like, that's a combination of two of my favorite things. Why wouldn't I want to see that?
Mm-hmm.
And in Agent Carter, you have it. You have a strong woman kicking a lot of ass.
It's an older generation's thought.
Yeah. And that's well represented with Chad Michael Murray and Shea Wiggum. And fortunately, they're hilarious.
Yeah.
And their sexism is hilarious. It's a good show.
It's a good show.
Just please don't let us down with episode 3.
Yes.
Yeah. Watch this, like, episode 3 just really tanks.
Like, it's just so bad. Like, you see all the green screen. Like,
I'm sure
Jarvis dies.
I'm sure we'll be fine. Let's talk some movie news. Ant-Man trailer, Ant-Man poster dropped. Underwhelming.
I'm gonna. Oh, you say your guys' thing, and then I'll say my thing.
Look, there's no vibe to that trailer at all. There's no energy. It feels like what the production was, which is like, you know, it was a script, a mess. It was
looks like a mess.
Yeah, it was like coming into it with like half a script and like scrambling to get it done, and it registers on screen in the footage we saw.
Yeah, because I've never seen Paul Rudd look more depressing. Normally, like, I see his face, I'm like, yeah, and this sounds like, oh, I feel bad for you.
Yeah, man, this was gonna be your vehicle.
Yeah, I think looking at the poster and looking at the trailer and that stupid ant-sized trailer and everything, the only thing that they can figure out to market on the show is he can get small. That's it. I'm gonna call it now. I feel like this is going to be Marvel's Cars. It's gonna make a lot of money because it has Marvel's name attached to it. But when people talk about the Marvel movies, they're like, well, there's Ant-Man.
What I felt, that poster, I love the gimmick. I love this little, like, cheeky, like, oh, it's ant size, haha. It's like, oh, now here's the human size. Like, here's a tiny little poster. Here's the abnormally sized magnifying glass, because that doesn't make sense for what it would look like. I like it. The trailer started off serious because they're trying to pull at heartstrings, but also it seems like they're trying to make this movie move towards relationships. It's not about the superhero necessarily. He is important and he will lead to future movies. It's about the relationship between Hank and Scott and his daughter. Like, it's all about the relationships people have and what they need to overcome. It kind of reminds me of Korra, which people probably don't watch Korra, or maybe they do, I don't know. But in the last season was about forgiveness, was about all these relationships that happened. That's what this movie feels like. They didn't do a good job of marketing that in this trailer because they started off serious, went to fun sci-fi, and then landed back on this weird joke that did not land for me.
You're gonna be so sad after that movie comes out.
No, I'm not, and you're gonna be eating your words. You're gonna, okay, well, mark it right now. You guys are gonna be eating your words. You're gonna be so surprised because people don't know how to cut a trailer.
Do you want to do a $20 bet?
Yeah, I'll do a $20 bet.
$20 bet.
I'll do a
$20 bet, and I swear to be honest, if I like it, I will give you $20.
No, you need to go in with no. You're gonna
no. I'm gonna be the arbiter. What does that mean, like?
No. I mean, like,
or dislike.
So he says it's going to be a good movie.
Yeah.
If I can come away and say, I had a great time, this is a good movie, I'm gonna give him $20.
This is different. All the superhero movies that have come out, minus Guardians of the Galaxy, is punchy, hit, whatever. That's not what he is. It's something different. It's the most obscure out of all these heroes, and it could bomb very hard, and I'm very aware of that. But I'm hoping for the best, because I like Paul Rudd and I like Michael Douglas.
Cool. Daredevil, announcement date, April 10th. All the episodes are coming out that day, 2 days after my birthday.
Yeah.
What, there was a trailer?
Yeah, all it was the two Ds appearing.
Okay.
Yeah, I've never been more excited before the show now that we've seen Agent Carter.
Right?
Now that we've seen Agent Carter, I'm more excited for the show.
Right.
Yeah.
The Marvel TV brain trust is strong.
Yeah. And they have a good opportunity here, as I'm a DC fanboy till I die, but they have a good opportunity here to, like, because DC's been crushing it on TV. They have an opportunity here to, like, this upcoming week is a lighter week. The only real big release is Marvel's finally starting to release its Star Wars comics with Star Wars #1,
I've heard good things.
which, if you care about that stuff, great. I mean, whatever. But also new issues of Daredevil, Mark Waid and Chris Samnee's Daredevil, and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has its own comic taking place in the comic Marvel universe with the characters from the show called S.H.I.E.L.D. And you're like, oh, is that a continuation of Jonathan Hickman's S.H.I.E.L.D. with the story that never got resolved? No, it's not. Unfortunately, that story will never get resolved.
Sorry, pal.
It's okay. Leonardo da Vinci was a character.
That's cool.
Leonardo da Vinci is the first Tony Stark in that universe.
That's so really cool.
Anyway, nothing will ever happen with it. Maybe he'll show up on Agent Carter. But if you missed this week, there's a new Ant-Man #1 because Ant-Man's coming out with Scott Lang as the main character again, and the Unbeatable Squirrel Girl, which is apparently a lot of fun.
Cool. Unbeatable Squirrel Girl? That's a Marvel?
Yes.
Oh.
Great.
Yes. So yeah, that's it. It's
okay.
It's a lighter week, which is good.
So folks, thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Superhero Roundup. We will be back next week talking about Gotham and Agent Carter, as well as the new Avengers 2 trailer, which will be dropping sometime in the next week.
Yep.
And yeah, it'll be really exciting. I'm Matt Lieberman.
I'm Sam.
I'm DJ Wooldridge.
Yeah. Goodbye.
Agent Carter was so good.
It was so good.
So good.
I'm so happy. Let's go watch it again.
Yeah.